You were the chosen one!
During this year's Star Wars celebration, Kathleen Kennedy announced that a new Star Wars film would be directed by this woman.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable and recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude.
Charmaine Oboy-Chinoy, most known for her works as a journalist and activist, stated this back in 2015 during a live panel hosted by Women in the World. Creative works that make people ask uncomfortable questions is one thing, but to openly state that you are proud of and actually enjoy and relish in upsetting and attacking men just because of your own insecurity is something only a narcissistic, cowardly, pathetic loser would do. So instead of making its core audience feel uncomfortable, why doesn't Disney do something productive and actually create a timeless story that everyone will enjoy? Oh, wait, that's right. They can't do that because they will continue to hire activists and not creatives.
And here we go. To the wall, gentlemen. One of history's greatest minds once said, "Creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else ever thought." Now, this can be interpreted in a number of ways. For rational people, it means pushing against common trends and breaking boundaries while still making something that, at the end of the day, still makes sense. For women hitting the wall, feeling that their voices have been unheard for the last 30 years, it means pushing tired propaganda to its limits and turning what many viewed as a classic into their own personal diary. Lately, Disney has been under a lot of fire for their seemingly unquenchable thirst for cinematic power. From taking an IP and storing it for decades to making stories where a scrawny girl can spar with massive monsters, it often feels like the entire film industry has been hijacked by the wrinkled housewives of big-time producers. And here's the thing, for the last 15 years, it has been. It's not like there aren't a few great shows and movies that surface from time to time, but a majority of these supposed masterpieces, before they get 10 minutes in, always have some chick come into frame. You don't know who she is, and it doesn't look like she's done anything in the past, but the audience is always told, she's a woman, of course she's powerful and all-knowing, she can take childbirth, so why is it so unreasonable that she can't beat up 7 fully grown men in 2 minutes? Before we go any further with the video, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to W.L. Barton, who shared, "Women under 30 now, they need to yell at the feminist who created this mess, not blame men." And that's the truth. They've created the problem for themselves. And all we can do is walk away. So thank you for dropping that comment, and please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'll be picking one comment from each video. Could be the funniest one, the most liked, or the one that dropped the hardest truth. So don't forget to leave a comment, and you could be our very next winner. Be sure to hit that like and sub button too, as that helps out a ton. There are small groups of mindless drones that applaud this, but most don't, which is why we have press wars with headlines like, Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because of the fan base being so male-dominated. Before giving the obvious answer, let's take a peek here. In a new interview with the New York Times for the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said she is aware that women in the space franchise are often attacked online more than men because of the fan base being so male-dominated.
Run for it, boy!
Female stars Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran certainly faced online harassment from toxic fans when the most recent Star Wars film trilogy was released, and now The Acolyte is already being attacked in certain corners of the fandom.
Well, it sucks!
The Acolyte is an original story created by Leslie Headland that's set long before the events of The Phantom Menace. Headland, known for directing films such as Sleeping with Other People and co-creating Netflix's hit comedy series Russian Doll, is the first woman to serve as showrunner of a Star Wars series.
That's a life. Resume like that.
Her show includes major new female Star Wars characters played by the likes of Amanda Stenberg, Carrie Ann Moss, Jodie Turner-Smith, and more. Okay, for clarification, Kathleen Kennedy is an American film producer who has been president of Lucasfilm since 2012, when she proceeded to burn it all to the ground. In 1981, Kennedy co-founded the production company Amblin Entertainment with Steven Spielberg and her eventual husband Frank Marshall, an American film producer and director. So in other words, Kennedy matches the archetype of the illegitimate, self-proclaimed, self-made girl boss that, if you were going to ask her, made it to the top all by herself. She's basically the film version of Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, the one that prances around with half his net worth, telling everyone within 10 feet that she is a best-selling author, even though she was married to the man with the largest book distributor on Earth. Kennedy has used this feminist illusion she's cooked up in her head, that's constantly inflated by the modeled hive mind she worships, to slither into one of the most successful franchises in human history. To do, well, I'll let Trey Parker and Matt Stone handle this one.
Put another gay diverse woman in it, make it more fucking lame! No, what's going on with my stars? No, Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her lame and gay!
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again. Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
Put a diverse woman in it, make it lame!
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby dear, put a chick in it, make her gay!
We've sent her away to have lunch at Spago. There you are, Miss Kennedy, the linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me, I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay?
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
Means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay! And I want it lame! Where the fuck is Bob Iger?
Sir Iger just had to take some of the others to a screening.
I think that things are being kept from me, and if you're going to keep things from me, then you'd better put a chick in it and make it fucking gay as fuck.
I think that sums it up nicely. Perhaps the only thing more disturbing than a woman that hit the wall lonely, riddled with hormones and bad ideas, is one that fits the same mold but happened upon a simp capable of giving them a platform that reaches millions of people. Over the last decade, this woman has made a female administrative staff that doesn't care about plot development, characters, or set designs. All they really want to do is create a literal galaxy packed with chicks and simps that magically align politically with straight males bumbling about like a bunch of lobotomites, incapable of doing anything without women at the helm. Which is why we see stories like this. As reported by The Times, a loud primordial part of the Star Wars fandom has pushed back in predictable fashion against the show. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the ranks of Jedi? Reads a comment on the Acolyte trailer, with others expressing a similar worldview. Some trolls have nicknamed Hedlund's series the Woke Light.
Well, that fits.
My belief is that storytelling does not need to be representative of all people. Kennedy told the publication about her support for Hedlund's Acolyte vision. That's an easy decision for me.
What a hero.
Operating within these giant franchises now, with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying, Kennedy continued. I think Leslie has struggled a bit with it. I think a lot of these women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male-dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Yep, this is about as simple as the feminist strategy gets. Kathy, very little of this discussion has anything to do with the prejudice you're talking about. But nobody expected you to play this in any other way. Progressives in Camp Disney always try and throw tribalism into the equation that doesn't belong. They bring radicals and skinheads into the limelight, but the fact of the matter is, what you've created is a feminist wasteland devoid of logic. Kids are born without fathers. Women control powers that were never part of the network, and none of it even forms a cohesive narrative capable of making anyone entertained. The only thing you've accomplished here is to make a story that nobody watches other than to make money tearing it apart.
Power 1. 3. Pick number 3, my lord. Power 2. The power of many.
70% of divorces that happen over 40 are initiated by women. Okay, why is that? Well, as she loses these hormones, there are so many brain changes that are happening. And because she doesn't understand herself, she thinks it's your problem. She thinks it's her teenage kid's problems. She thinks it's her aging parents' problem. She thinks it's work's problem. She doesn't go, oh, okay, wait, I've got some neurochemical changes going on in my brain that I need to make sure that my lifestyle supports. Since that conversation isn't open, she turns on everybody else. For years, I had so many women that came into my clinic and they said, whatever you do, please help me stay out of my doctor's office. And I was like, why? Because they don't understand me. And when they don't understand me, all they do is give me an antidepressant. And I feel so lost in what I'm supposed to do to help my own brain health, help my own body health. And we start dishing out supplements and prescriptions when there's a lifestyle that women are working against.
It's a classic that fits here perfectly. See, most of these simps let their aging drunk wives run projects because living with them has become a complete nightmare. The problem with this logic is that the woman who hit the wall hard moves on to treat whatever business she has like the husband 1,000 miles away. She does what a toddler would do in a similar situation. Without any knowledge of how the system works, people like Kathy here jump on the task like a monkey that's been instructed to rebuild a VCR, DVD player, or desktop, just ramming bananas into the motherboard, replacing RAM with cottage cheese, and flipping the switch and going apeshit when none of it works properly. And what makes this funnier is that Disney has made efforts to distance themselves for all of this. Headland has already started to limit her exposure to online chatter about the show to block out any of the toxic fans, and the show hasn't even debuted on Disney Plus yet.
Won't work.
As a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I've felt it myself, she said. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. The Acolyte premieres June 4th on Disney Plus. Well, Kathy, it premiered, and it was the largest load of cow dung anyone has seen thrown on screen. And let's be clear, it's not like everyone's upset about this, or like us, just judging it, is a Star Wars fan. Some might be, and that's okay. But the point is that the primary target audience for these things is children and younger people, viewers that are still being taught how the world works. Plus, Kathy and her cronies, regardless of what they say, are not and have never been fans. I mean, the aging mental patient said it herself. The market for this was male-dominated because healthy girls aren't usually interested in lasers and Wookiees. It's Barbies and dollhouses, and if it stayed that way, the world would obviously be in a much better place. And that's the thing. Star Wars, Disney movies, and much of the other garbage produced aren't real shows. They're just flashy commercials to draw in the next generation of women, to further encourage the idea that all of them could kick the crap out of an MMA fighter and terminate a pregnancy at the same time. It's part of a massive propaganda wing, and the average person knows this. However, Kathy isn't going to let go of the wheel anytime soon, not without a fight, because in her mind, she's young, vibrant, and doing everything right, even if the crowd booed her along the way.
Well, actually, how old are you?
I've always been raised as being currently a 26-year-old.
How old are you?
Well, I live knowing, as I've always known, that I would be 26.
Come on, time to go back to the old folks' home.
Can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Okay. Define what a woman is.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
There are people who identify as different genders who are capable of getting pregnant. That is my position on this. I am not going to feed more into the bigotry of that question.
Okay, what is this right here?
The pelvis. It's the only bone in the body that's gender specific, which means it's different in boys and girls.
Is it?
Yes. The pelvis's job to protect the organs used for digesting and reproduction, which means throwing babies.
Smart kid, but who knows how long that'll last. See, children are absolute sponges. I often get to see it with my own eyes, and the rate in which they absorb material is miraculous. They all start out like a blank slate. Sure, nature plays a role, but if they are provided with the right information, they'll grow up to be fully functional adults with a tangible future. And this is why people are upset, because a little kid like this, if they move into Kennedy's world, won't stay that way for very long. If they're put in front of a screen and forced by single moms to watch a Star Wars show, or any other program where two women can make a baby magically, wand, whatever the hell else the mentally ill hope is true, then they will inevitably give up on the logical path that would make them fulfilled later in life. For older guys that just want to watch something, the worst that's going to happen is that they wasted time and maybe got pissed off, but for impressionable young people whose brains aren't even fully formed yet, their reality could be shaped by a middle-aged chick that never even had kids and just wants everyone on the planet to think like her. It's a sickness.
Everybody's been talking about the acolyte. There's other people who are on this show saying, I'm getting sick and tired of y'all coming after me. Amanda Stenberg, she got so sick and tired of it, she said, all right, I got to put up my diss track
You
now.
got Eve.
She in a monastery? She know that damn temple.
It's a Jedi temple.
She got the Jedi monks to back up. Oh. I'm trying not to be an right here. I don't
try harder.
Everybody putting the word out there, cringe. Hey, listen, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't cringing right now. But I get it. But imagine you're in a position where you are doing your job, and you out there trying to do the best that you can with this, and you know you're supposed to be excited about being in something that's big like Star Wars. And okay, so the show might not be that great in my opinion, but you know, I mean, that gets to people's heads when they see all the negative comments, especially if they're sexist and racist.
Sure.
You know, not to say they're all like that. There's some people who have some God-to-honest criticism about this show, like us.
You don't need to say You've already made it. You're in Star Wars. You should have just ignored this. And this, if you're going to drop a diss track to, like, you know, internet nerds, it's got to be better than this. I'm sorry. It's a no from me, dog.
Even if the diss track was good, which it never in a million years could be, it doesn't change reality in the slightest. Many of the people reviewing this are practicing empathy, considering the feelings of the other people working on the project, but that's short-sighted. The fact almost every one of them is a consenting adult that made the decision to sign up for the propaganda machine. And so, this is what happens. Perhaps the silver lining in all of this is that the industry has heard this, and as they continue to financially bleed out, with no sensible guy willing to spend his money on trash, they'll be forced to correct course whether they like it or not. Just one of the many benefits of walking away. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.